why you should stop selling coaching, stop selling the service. People don't care. Please stop. It's killing me. It really is. And I want to show you what you need to be doing. That's our principles. That's what we believe in. That's what I talk about. That's just how you deliver that service. That's not talking about the actual path itself. So you need to sell them on the path itself first of all. You need this process in place because it's a sales system. Most of the time it's just you understand their backstory, you understand the results they've got, you respect them as a person, you like them, you idolize them. So how can you inject that into someone that doesn't know you all at all? How can you inject that into a stranger? You'd be like, well, I don't need this. Why do I need that? I don't need a VSL. I don't need a presentation. I'm stuck on sales calls. Like, how is that going to solve my problem? Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Work-Life Unbalanced. Today I'm going to be talking to you why you should stop selling coaching, stop selling the service. People don't care. Please stop. It's killing me. It really is. And I want to show you what you need to be doing, which is talking about the why your path works and why your mechanism actually works, what you actually do, why it works, okay? It just really upset me this morning, right? I saw an ad come up, a paid ad from a coach, and this coach basically said the words 24/7 WhatsApp support, training plan, nutrition plan, customized coaching plan, whatever. That was the bullet points listed on his paid advertisement, right? Coming through. Now, how many people in the world actually care about those things? Why does that make you different? That's what everyone does. That's what every coach does, and that's what's included in every single coaching package, right? What you need to be doing is you need to be selling them on the why your path works, and a really easy way you can do that, and what I want to show you today is talk about the other paths. Talk about why the other paths do not work, because when they come through the customer awareness journey, and this applies to anyone running a coaching business, service business, agency, consulting business, anything where you offer a service to that customer and you're essentially selling the result. You probably understand that by now because we've talked about it enough times. But to the 10 people watching this video, right? And I'm glad that you can only listen and you can actually see me and you can't smell me right now because I just finished a gym session, but I wanted to get this off my mind because I saw the paid ad. Why you should stop selling coaching. And what I'm trying to say is not to not coach. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing the service that you're doing. I'm just saying for you to attract your dream customer, we know that first of all, right? If you haven't watched all these videos on the channel, you should know this by now, but you need to be targeting and speaking to, with your messaging on social media, your dream customers. So you should be relating to them with your content, the pain points you talk about, the struggles that they feel. You should be really connecting with them, and the best way to do that is talk about your struggles, and people connect with you. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. Most of the time you don't even need a USP. You just need to be you, and that attracts people like you as well. So they've probably, you've been through the journey they want to go through, and you help them solve that problem themselves. Okay, that's how most coaches work, especially in the fitness world. Now, providing you know all that and you're already doing all that stuff, you're talking about your dream customer, you're relating to them, then you're like, right, you're shoving the solution down their throat, you're shoving your coaching down their throat, but they need to know why you are the person that they need to work with, right? They don't want to know about the service specifics that you offer. To break this down simply, they need to know, out of all the options they've got to take to get to that end result, right? Let's say they just want to drop 20 pounds and it's a fat loss approach that you've got. There's so many different approaches they can do. They're probably thinking about, should I go on a keto diet? Should I do a carb cycling diet? Should I do a fasting diet? Should I do a high cardio training plan? Should I do a low cardio training plan? Should I do a weight training plan? Like, there's so many different options out there. Now, yes, you may relate to them on a lot of their problems, their struggles, their pain points, all that sort of stuff with your content. But instead of just saying, listen, I will keep you accountable, I will give you a training plan, I will give you a nutrition plan. But like, first of all, they need to know the what. Like, what is your unique mechanism? So that's your path. That's your new path to get there, okay? So let's just say that, first of all, where they're at right now, this is their problem. Yeah, problem. And this is your path to their result. Yeah, this is their dream result of where they want to go to. Yeah, so this is their dream result. This is the vacation you're selling them of where they want to go. So that's fine, easy to understand. But this is not your service. This is not your coaching, right? That's just a mechanism that you provide for them to actually get there. So your coaching, saying that you do a diet plan, a training plan, that's just how you deliver that service. That's not talking about the actual path itself. So you need to sell them on the path itself first of all. And an example of this would be the way we handle nutrition and our belief and principles around nutrition is carb cycling. We believe that you should prioritize having carbs around the pre and post workout window, around your training, to make sure that you're giving your body what it needs to perform at its best and recover well as well. When the glycogen stores are depleted after the session, you want to be replenishing those glycogen stores. We talk about all that, and you could talk about that stuff all day as to why we believe that is the best way to train and the best way to recover. And then on the non-training days where you don't have those high intense sessions, there's no need to feed your body full of carbs. So you can feel a lot better. You can keep your blood sugar levels much more stable. So you feel much higher energy. You get the same sort of like keto effects of having like a higher fat diet those days and lower carbs. So that's our approach. Like, that's our new path. That's our mechanism of how we deliver the results that we do. And then the flip side for the training, we talk about it all the time with our principles is not leaving reps in reserve and not hard training. It's training to failure. It's whatever sets you've got on those programs, you should be pushing all the way to complete failure, tracking those lifts and progressively overloading. That's our principles. That's what we believe in. That's what I talk about, right? And that's what we did with PB Academy. We scaled it up as a coaching company to a full team of coaches, delivering service, over 250 plus active clients, very successful, online, totally online. We built a different physical location, local gym business, over 500 members. So we applied these principles with what we believed in, especially for the coaching service that we had online. So I know this works just from the last 10 years of doing this, right? This may be overwhelming and confusing. There's a lot of other options that these people have got, right? So there's other paths they can potentially take. But the reason I'm doing these arrows like this is because they don't get the results that the people think they will, okay? And you need to educate them on that with your content as well. So you need to be selling them on the fact that this new path works, but you also need to be almost pre-handling the objections that they've potentially got, which is, should I do the keto diet? Educate them on why the keto diet doesn't work, all right, for your audience, why it wouldn't work for your dream client. So I would say, yes, you're going to get the quick wins with a keto diet, but it's unsustainable. The moment you go out for a meal and you have a carb at any point in your life ever again, it's going to pull you out of ketogenesis. So the whole impact of what they sell you on with keto is you get the quick wins, which is why you believe it works. You see a rapid drop in weight loss because for every gram of glycogen your body stores, you store 3 grams of water. So that's a lot throughout the body. Your body can store up to 600 grams of glycogen alone. That's 2 kilos dropped instantly the moment you remove carbs completely for a few days. So yes, you're going to see quick results, but it's unsustainable. It's not actually fat loss you're seeing on the scales. You're just seeing a lot of water weight dropping down. So you feel better initially, but over the long term, it doesn't work. It's unsustainable. So I would educate people on those paths, why they don't work. The other option they've got to take, should they buy just a generic training plan from some influencer online? Well, it's going to give you the training plan to follow, but it's not going to be customized to you. It's not going to come with accountability, because that's where most people fail, is they have doubts throughout the journey and they don't keep themselves accountable because they've got no one to be accountable to. And the moment they have doubts, they have no one to ask questions to, no one they trust, no one that's taken that journey before as a human being that understands the pains, the struggles, the doubts that you can just bounce back from, and a coach you respect and trust that you know has been there and got results with other people. You've got no one to tap into like that. So I would be talking about those things for the other paths of why they don't work, okay? The other thing as well, like if I was to flip this, not talk about coaching and talk about what we do with the Welcome Pack VSL. So the Welcome Pack VSL, the problems, just so I identify this for you, the problems people have, they have a low close rate. As a founder, they're stuck on sales calls, right? They want to remove themselves or reduce the amount of time they spend on sales calls. They want to have much more authentic conversations that aren't salesy. They don't want to be these objection handling salesy closers forcing people to spend money with them and get their direct debit or credit card out on the call. So those are the problems the founder faces. And the dream result is they want to remove themselves. They want their time back. They want to focus on scaling the business, right? Now, how many mechanisms do you think there are? Do I join a mastermind, right? There's so many options. So they could think mastermind. They could think hire a closer, salesperson. They could think, what else am I going to do? I'm going to automate the sales process. They could think I'm not going to do sales calls anymore, just remove calls, but then obviously you're going to lose loads of sales by doing that. So those are the other paths that they could potentially take. Now, what we believe in is we believe in actually educating the lead, right? Because the actual problem, the root cause of the problem for most people is that they're speaking to unqualified, uneducated leads. And what makes a warm lead is just someone that trusts you, that's seen that you've got a lot of proof, and they know that your path works and they want to work with you. They're educated on your process. That's all the difference is between a cold lead and a warm lead. Just think about it. What's the difference between you and someone that you're a fan of? Someone, most of the time it's just you understand their backstory, you understand the results they've got, you respect them as a person, you like them, you idolize them. So how can you inject that into someone that doesn't know you all at all? How can you inject that into a stranger? And the easiest way to do it is to present to them and give them your story, to give them basically a slide-by-slide presentation. That's what we call the Welcome Pack VSL. And there's 14 to 18 slides that strategically moves them through the customer awareness journey. So by the end of it, not only have they become completely aware of why you're the person they need to work with, but they've seen all your proof, they respect you, they know your story, they feel like they know you. We do that all in a 15-minute video, and that's what it does. So when you plug that into your sales system, the moment someone books a call, they become totally educated, they love you, they want to work with you, they're ready to buy straight away. So when you get on the call with them, they're much more warm, they're educated, they're ready to buy, and it just increases close rate, reduces call time because you don't need to go through the whole pitch on the call, removes the pitch entirely, and you can actually remove the founder from calls because they've already spent time with the founder on the video, and they just need to just basically get going. It's more of like an order taking call. So that's our process, that's our new path. And we say, even if you want to hire closers, even if you want to get salespeople in, if you want to remove your time from calls as a founder completely, you need this process in place because it's a sales system. So you need to build the system to eventually remove yourself from the calls. So it is the next step, and people realize then after that education, that is what I need to do. So you can see clearly from these two examples, right? One fitness, one B2B sales, that you need to educate people on your new path and actually educate them on why the other paths do not work as well. So when it comes down to your content, please stop. If I was just to say there, right, because this is what I could do with that example there. I could sit there and I could tell you that what we do is we script you a VSL. We build the slides for you step by step. We build it all done for you. We edit the video for you. We write you a script so you can present it well like an expert presenter. If I was just telling you that, ignore all that information I just told you prior, you'd be like, well, I don't need this. Why do I need that? I don't need a VSL. I don't need a presentation. I'm stuck on sales calls. Like, how is that going to solve my problem? You need to first educate them on why this thing works, and then you can show them the how. The how is your program. The how is your coaching. That's what you need to present them with. That's your offer at the end. But if they're not sold on this first of all, and they're not educated on why the other options they've got in their mind do not work, then they're not going to be 100% sold on your idea, okay, on your new path. So for that coach who put that paid ad up this morning, and was saying 24/7 WhatsApp support, customized nutrition plan, training plan, accountability, check-ins, that's what everyone does. It doesn't make you different. It's wasted money. It's not going to work. And it's definitely not going to work as well as it could do. So you need to change that to really call out and attract. Obviously, this is not ad campaign advice because you need probably a whole funnel working from top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And that was a whole lot of work in itself. But for now, you need to understand that you need to be educating people on why your new path works, why it's unique, and it will naturally then relate to the ideal dream client that you've actually got in your mind. So I hope this helps. It has been a bit of a ramble, but yeah, it does make sense. So I hope it works. I hope it makes sense to you anyway. So make sure you subscribe for just raw dog content like this. And yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you very much.